But it's like, what's your favorite part of cooking? Cooking or eating? It's two different things. And I think it's the same about creating. Creating a piece is very different from sitting and watching it, you know? My favorite part is definitely when you are diving in the deep and you there are so many questions and you're super lost and you can't sleep and so many outcomes, none of them seems right, and you just have to keep trying and you have to trust your intuition. That's also something I like. You have to trust the knowledge that you can't put in words.
Hello, my name is Eline Perez and you're listening to Are You an Artist? Today's episode is with Catriel Saslavsky, who speaks about his super intense ballet training, he did it in 3 years, the joy of creating, and his desire to become a sex therapist. We laughed so much in this episode and I laughed so much doing the montage. I find Catriel absolutely hilarious and he's also so full of life. It's very contagious, so I'm sure you will enjoy this episode, which is definitely one of my favorites. Enjoy!
Donc il faut qu'on se chauffe.
Complètement. Do you want to start to speak English now? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, because I still need...
I love your British accent.
British accent?
Do you want to start now? Do you want to start speaking English now? I do. Oh, how...
C'est comme ça que je parle.
How lovely. Oh, lovely. Oui.
What's an American accent?
Like this. It's nasal.
Can you speak with the American accent for the whole...
Yeah, you got it, man.
Okay, so I think I'm ready. I don't need my glasses.
I don't know. I don't think you're going to read.
I'm going to read a bit.
Oh, wow.
Because I've written a letter to you.
Oh, okay. This is some multimedia.
Yeah, that's... That's how I start each episode. I read the letter I've written to the guest.
Okay, nice. I can't wait to hear it.
Well, it's gonna start now, so...
Okay, I think I'm ready. I'm shaking a bit, but go for it.
Dear Catriel, Eline from the montage, you cannot see Catriel's face, but I did, and I knew I did a mistake. I pronounced his name wrong. Here is the correct pronunciation.
Catriel. Et non, Catriel.
Catriel. Sorry. I remember meeting you when we were performing for Alice Anderson in Musée des Arts de Fontevraud. Our train from London was late. You were with the other dancers in the car to pick us up in Paris. And in the end, we got late not only for the rehearsal, but also for the performance because of the traffic.
Yeah.
However, we had some time in the car to get to know each other. And also when you came to London for the Pride. I can remember your life journey with precision, but from my bad memory and Facebook. You come from Argentina. You trained as a ballet dancer in the US. Then you moved to Paris to explore contemporary dance. And no,
but it's okay.
Why did you come to Paris?
I went to the US to work as a ballet dancer. I trained in Argentina ballet.
Okay.
And I just saw what a big company was, what a big theater was. And in Argentina, there are so few that I knew I wasn't ever going to have the chance to perform in one of the big theaters in Argentina because they are not many.
Okay.
And so I said I need to move to a country with a lot of theaters and stuff. And so I came to France.
Ah, okay. Well.
But it's you got it in the point that I don't do ballet anymore.
Okay. So, yeah. I wasn't right, but I wasn't wrong.
No, it's okay.
And you also did a yoga teacher training in Rishikesh.
Yes.
Correct. This makes you the perfect podcast guest to answer this question. Are you an artist?
Wow. Thank you. Yes, I think I am an artist. It depends on what you consider artist. But I think if you take for an artist the people who was born in the right circle, in the small circle of society in which it is easy to become an artist. And if you only look at, I don't know, let's say Carla Bruni's daughter, if she wants to become an artist, it's probable that she will manage to sell her pieces very easily. If that is your definition of artist, I don't think you will consider me an artist. But if you consider artist as a person who has a certain sensibility, a certain way to express it, and who can't find their position in life anywhere else than in art, in that case I am an artist. But if you look at me teaching yoga 8 times a week and doing only that of my week, maybe you won't say I'm an artist. I don't know, it depends to you. Do you think I'm an artist?
I think you're an artist.
Okay.
And what's your very first creative memory?
I was 3 and I was...
That's an early memory.
Yes, but it started super early. I was 3. I was in kindergarten, and we were going to do a small tango performance. And we only had to dance tango, and they taught us like you just had to grab the girl by her back and extend your arm to the side and hold hands and walk from one part of the room to the other. So
at 3 years old you were learning tango?
Yeah, but we were pretending to dance tango.
Okay.
It was a school performance.
Okay.
And they just taught us how to put the arms, and we would walk from one place to the other. It wasn't dance. But the boys had to wait for the girls to come and get us to dance. And so when I was 3, I decided to put my fingers like in a V shape as I was holding a cigarette, and to pretend I was smoking, waiting for the girl on stage. And I remember that everybody got their eyes at me, and they put me on the first, like in the front part of the performance. I was the star, and I realized that I was the one who had created that. That was my idea. And so I said, oh, look, I can do things and make people look at me and be super happy.
Wow. That's amazing.
I was the typical creative child.
Yeah. So do you feel like you were in a kind of creative place? Like you could explore your creativity at school or with your family or?
Not really. In school, like in every school, unless you go to an art school, your education is going to be academic. Like they are going to teach you maths and literature, you know? So I had to go. I always asked my parents to have extra time outside of school to go to theater classes, painting classes, but it was private teachers, you know? So I managed to get into those places by myself. I understood that school wasn't enough for me. If I had been a kid who loved maths, I could have been perfectly happy in school. But I needed to take extra time for my artistic development out of school. So I think to answer your question, it's a little bit yes and a little bit no, but mostly yes.
And when and why did you start dancing?
It depends also on what you consider dancing. I started corporal expression corporelle, at 4.
Okay.
Because I had a ballerina aunt. I had an aunt who is a ballerina.
Okay.
And she used to teach corporal expression for kids. And I was 4 and I was dying to be in her class. I always found her super pretty, especially beautiful. Maybe later we could talk about this. My thing with dance is that I find dancers, especially women, ballerinas, extremely beautiful. And so I need to be in that space like a butterfly who flies to the light. I'm attracted to dance and by that power, you know? So it took me when I was 4 to my aunt's classes, and that's when I started expression corporelle, like or body expression. You just move freely.
That's like improvisation.
A little bit, but for 4-year-olds. Yeah, it was. We would move to the flames, we would move to the wind, we would move to a certain sound. And then when I was 15, I went to see a ballet performance. My parents never took me to ballet, or nobody in my family. And in my country, it's not a country where dance circulates much. For example, in France, if you turn the TV on, you will see a writer, you will see politicians, because it's France. But maybe, if you're lucky, you see a dancer. In Argentina, that truly would happen very rarely. So I didn't have much dance. So when I was 15, I went to see a ballet performance, and I was absolutely mesmerized by what I saw. To see the human body doing something so wonderful, so beautiful. And I just said, I just knew I had to be there. I didn't know how hard it was going to be, but, but it looked pretty, that's for sure.
So you started after 15,
Yes.
ballet.
Yes.
Wow, that's quite late.
Yes. I worked super hard. I made my parents spend a crazy ton amount of money in private lessons.
Wow.
Because I started ballet actually even later than that. Ballet I started at 17.
Okay.
I knew I was completely late, running out of time. And so I worked super, super hard. And at 20, I joined my first ballet company.
Okay.
I mean, I made an unhuman effort to become a dancer.
Wow.
I guess. I don't know.
And do you remember what you wanted to do as a job when you were a young child? Then?
When I was a super, super young child, I wanted to be either an actor, which is a question I still consider, maybe,
Oh.
or get this, a heart doctor, a cardiologist.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I guess I just wanted to help people with their hearts.
Oh.
And turned out I'm going to be a sex therapist now. So more or less, I was there.
It's an organ.
It's an organ, yeah, one of many. One of many that intervene in love.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. And how did you go towards contemporary dance?
It started in the beginning as well. I actually wanted to do ballet because I believed in that super Eurocentric rule that you need to know the structure and you need to be a good classical artist in order to break all that structure and become a contemporary artist.
Okay.
And so I always wanted to be a contemporary dancer, especially a choreographer. And my dream was like to create choreography with sculpture and with installations. That's why I was so driven to the project with Alice Anderson, in which we met.
Uh-huh.
And so I just said I'm gonna need ballet to be able to forget ballet later. But never happened. No, it did happen.
And do you still believe in that now, that you need to first...
No.
No?
No. I think that right now, if you want to become an artist, you need the basis. I mean, you need to have the artistic knowledge. You need to know how to paint. If you're going to be a painter, you need to have dance technique, either contemporary, ballet, gaga, salsa, whichever.
Mm-hmm.
But what you truly need is to know which is your point of view. What are your strengths? What makes you different from everybody? Because there are lots of kids trying to be the best dancer, the best singer, the best painter, or to be something new. But many of them are kids in which you see which drives the person. And I think that for me, if you're going to be an artist, the best thing that you can do is to stay true to your motto, to your motivation, to what drives you, with what you want to say, what is your point of view, and work on that for me. But you need technique. Otherwise, you can't fry an egg and say it's art. Yeah. It could be, but you need to tell me why. And I need to believe you, you know?
And why did you start yoga?
Why or when? Why I started yoga? It's very popular in Argentina, and mostly I started doing yoga because dancing, I did that super hard dance training from my 17 to my 20s. Remember I told you in 3 years I made all the work that a dancer takes, a normal dancer, it takes them 10 years to do it, or 6 or whatever. And I did it in 3 years, and the cost of that was a herniated disc on my lumbar back. So that was like the price to pay on my body, and yoga helped me to feel better. I mean, not to be in so much pain and to stay supple, but especially to cope with the pain. Because my ballet career was sort of short. I started at 20 and it ended at 24. Because of that, my body wasn't truly fully prepared, and so I got that injury. And then I started doing yoga to feel better, and I started a yoga group. I started a yoga group to force myself to do yoga. And then I said, oh, listen, I'm not so bad doing this, and I became a yoga teacher.
And did you choreograph?
Yes, I did. I choreographed for myself once or twice, and I was recently invited in a theater school in Germany to teach a performance workshop in which I ended up choreographing 3 pieces for students, and that was, I think it was super beautiful, the most beautiful thing I saw. I think I was mesmerized by the beauty of ballerinas, as I told you, and I wanted to become one. But now I knew a much superior type of beauty, which is to see human beings dancing a piece that you created, and to see the audience watching that, and to be in that ritual, that sort of moment where magic, because it's actually magic what happens. People are dancing, they are moving, and some other people are watching, and beauty happens, and mesmerizement happens. And I think that was also one of like the most sublime experiences in my life.
Wow. And when you start creating something like that, what's the feeling driving it?
The thing creates itself and it talks to you. For example, I was creating a piece with one group. We were creating a piece that was about holding hands, but not being able to hold, like proposing someone a handshake, and the person wouldn't accept it. And and then that rejection would create a solo dance of rejection. And so that piece, for example, wasn't working. It was the day before the performance, and the piece wasn't working at all. It was boring. But that's not what I said to the...
Sorry.
No, it's fine. You see why I don't last long in the art world. I have no patience, and I talk just too... I'm too straightforward when I talk. but it was
so nice.
yeah, right? Isn't it lovely?
It's really refreshing.
Oh, yeah. It's calming also, I think.
Yes.
Relaxing, I'd say, right? Isn't it relaxing to have someone of you telling you it's boring what you're doing? Super relaxing. Anyway, I said then to the students, I said, this piece doesn't catch us. And then I went home reflecting about those words. I said, maybe I was too harsh on them, telling them the piece doesn't catch us. But that piece needs to catch me. It needs to catch the audience. And then I said, that's it. The handshakes are going to be proposed to the audience. And the audience will have the possibility to propose a handshake to the dancers. It doesn't, all the handshakes doesn't have to happen between the dancers on stage, because the audience was going to be around and in between the dancers.
Okay.
But at first we thought of them merely as spectators, but then I said, no, they have to be actors as well. And then that piece worked perfectly, you know? And and so when I said to the dancers, this piece doesn't catch us, it was actually the piece talking through me, saying what it needed to be done. The piece needed to be a catcher. It needed to catch people's hands, and we did it, and it happened. It worked super good.
Nice.
It ended up being one of my favorite.
And what's your favorite part of a creative process? Is it the beginning, the first idea, in the middle, or when you can see it at the end?
No, it's definitely when you can see it. It's a very good part because it's the reward. But it's like, what's your favorite part of cooking? Cooking or eating? It's two different things. And I think it's the same about creating. Creating a piece is very different than sitting and watching it, you know? My favorite part is definitely when you are diving in the deep and there are so many questions and you're super lost and you can't sleep and so many outcomes, none of them seems right, and you just have to keep trying, and you have to trust your intuition. That's also something I like. You have to trust the knowledge that you can't put in words. You have to trust a force that drives you. But if somebody tells you, are you seriously, I mean, if you tell to someone what you're gonna do and why, the most probable thing is that they tell you, are you seriously going to spend money on that? Are you seriously going to do that? Are you seriously going to make your dancers do that just because in a dream you saw a freaking butterfly? And you say, yes, everybody's going to come up wearing butterfly wings. Yeah, and I'll do it. And I think it needs so much courage, and you need to trust your gut so much.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part, maybe.
And do you prefer to create on your own or with people?
Creating with people hasn't worked fine for now. I think I prefer creating with people, but I think it takes longer. I don't like to create with people if I only have 10 days. 2 weeks, 1 month to make a piece. But I think it would be a beautiful experience to create in group. I mean, as a collective creators, if we have like 1 year to create a piece, you know, I think you can't compare. 2 heads work better than 1. En français, on dit à 2 on voit mieux. Et à 3 on voit quoi?
I didn't even know this French expression.
À 2 on voit mieux? You didn't know it? That's what it means.
Well, you're more French than me.
Yeah, I don't know how to take that.
Congratulations!
Oh, thank you. I don't know how to feel right now.
What do you like the most in your work?
Okay, my work right now is it's an artist work. I work with people and I work teaching dance. But I don't teach only technique. I teach the pleasure of dancing, and I teach what is good in life about dancing. And I teach why dance is lovely. And I try to make people, I select unconsciously only the people who will love dance, and I keep them in my classes. The people who come to my classes only because they want to spend money on ballet shoes and they want to look pretty with some leotard and do nothing, they don't last. I don't have to push them out of the class. They don't last because I teach what I... En français, on dit transmettre. In English, I don't know. What I pass on.
Share?
Yeah, what I share is the passion of dance and the power of dance. And You see this thing that you make, you take one dance class and your week is not the same as if you didn't take any. If you don't dance for a whole week, your week doesn't feel as good. It doesn't feel the same as if you go to dance, you know? So that's the magic that I try to make happen in my classes. And what I like more now is to see all the people having such a good time and to have such a positive impact on people's lives. I think maybe the little kid in me who wanted to be at the same time a heart doctor and an actor was somebody who just wanted to help people by doing something beautiful, something pretty, and to help people be good. I mean, to help people be fine, be healthy and happy. And I think more or less I do that now with my dance classes. Yeah.
And so why do you consider now starting acting again?
Because I think maybe it's true, but maybe it's not true, but I consider acting now. I don't know. I think that maybe that was what I truly wanted to do instead of dancing. Also, the acting, I think it's less hard on the body, less competitive, and you have to push yourself maybe a little less.
Maybe it's more sustainable.
Yeah. I remember being a dancer in the USA, and I was all day thinking about dance and rehearsal. It was like, it just never stopped, because what I took for breakfast had to be enough to let me rehearse. The hours of sleep had to be enough to be able to rehearse, and the acquaintances I made, they had to understand that I was a dancer and what was going to happen. You know, it was a full-time job, but not only a job, it was a full lifestyle. And I think that acting is maybe more free in that sense. I don't think actors worry as much about what they eat, or if they are supple enough, if they are flexible enough, if their abs are shredded enough to be an actor, you know? I think you just wear a nice coat and that's it.
But maybe you're topless in the scene.
Well, of course. Who wouldn't want me to be topless on their scene? Who would want to cover this body? Well, but tummies are super sexy and beautiful. Aren't tummies sexy?
Oh yes,
bellies?
I found them really sexy.
Of course, they are super sexy.
Soft as well, it's nice.
Yeah.
This is going out of the topic.
Well, let it be.
And what type of artworks interest you?
To do or to see?
To see, to witness.
I think I like the art when many languages interfere, but they all talk the same way, and they tell one thing clearly and cohesively. For example, I like pieces that are multidisciplinary, but everything has to be connected, but not in a hard way. Like, I don't have to think through it. It just has to be evident. And also it needs to motion me, you know? I need to be moved by what I see. For example, I can't see young dance companies anymore.
Oh.
No. Because now I see the person. When I see the dancer and I see the person that is dancing. And when I see a 19-year-old trying to jump high, it's cute. Yeah. It's cute, you know, but I'm not going to pay to see that. That's why, for example, you will never see me in Palais Garnier. For me, there's not much to see there. Their butts are amazing.
Following every dancer's butt.
Yeah. It's very interesting when they turn their back to the audience. But no, to see their 22-year-old corps de ballet doing nice and pretty things, I prefer, I mean, there is almost no difference if I watch that on video, because if all that they are going to show me are the perfect lines of their bodies, what's the difference of seeing that on a screen? Anyway, so now I need to see a human being involved in what they are doing, or I need to see the result of that involvement. I need to see a painting in which I see that the person was truly 100% into that, body, mind, and soul, on that piece. And if that happened, I think that the piece talks to you instantly. You can see it, you can feel it when that happened, when the artist was fully involved. You can feel it. But when the artist is just doing their job, when they are doing time for being paid, it doesn't, that's when you start scrolling on your phone. Or when the artist is just thinking about their career, like the young dancers who are there dancing just because that project might help them get the beautiful photo, the beautiful video, or the right acquaintance to their next project, they are just thinking of climbing up steps, and you also feel that. I don't know, it's super hard because it opens up the question of professionalism. Like, sometimes we consider a professional like the person who can be there even if they don't want to be there, who can go there and put all the work and make it happen. But when they force themselves so much, you can also feel it. And it doesn't reach you. For me, art and the work world, like art and the way we produce things, I don't think they go well together. I think what we truly call art is something that happens maybe in your whole life. It will happen twice, 3 times, Maybe you can be a very successful artist and work doing art all your life. But for me, the magic of art may manifest just twice in your life. Or many more times, like 10, hopefully 15, every time.
Depends how long you live.
Yeah. Depends how good your healthcare company is. Yeah. How much water you drink, how much yoga you make. Yeah. How much hours of sleep. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did very well. Thank you.
Avec plaisir.
And so you traveled a lot.
Yes.
Which city is the best for art?
Wow.
Or you can have a top 3.
Okay.
If one is too difficult.
Sao Paulo in Brazil is definitely a very good city.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of things are happening at the same time. Also, Brazilian people are amazing because they love happiness. Like in Brazil, during Carnival, they all sing Alegria, Alegria. It's like the cult of joy. And I don't know. It's so different from other cultures in which it's all about being serious and sad and deep.
French people are a bit like that, no?
Super. But they pretend to, yeah. Like trying to be deeper than you actually are. Which can be good in certain contexts, but not for your whole life. So I'd say Brazil. In New York, I didn't work as an artist. But I think New York is a passionate, it's an amazing place to be. It's wonderful. And from there you can truly move anywhere else in the world. Berlin is super fine. Because it's cheap and because there are lots of artists. So I think Berlin as well.
Okay.
That could be my top 3.
Great. And as a human being, what is your strength?
Sensitivity and heat.
Heat?
Yeah, warmth.
Like you can be warm?
Yeah, I can be a worm. No. I connect with people through my warmthness. For
Okay.
me, all the human connections that I establish are through warmthness.
I can confirm.
Yeah, yes, thank you. Like from my warmest, my most warm fiber, I'll try to connect with you. That's why I asked you just to talk English a little before, because I had to warm up.
Yeah, but I mean, your English is so good.
Thank you. Yeah.
Anything you would like to be better at?
I'd like just not to run so much. I'd like to learn to take time, and to take time with a direction, like to set a direction and to say that's where I'll go, and not be afraid of taking 5 years to get there. I'm a person who I set up an objective, but if I don't get it quite fast, I change it. Yeah, I just have zero patience sometimes.
Me too.
Yeah,
It's so difficult, right?
I think it's a dancer thing.
Maybe.
To move in all directions. Like, oh no, it's not here, it's over there. Oh, look over there, it's right there. Oh, look, there's my cat. Let's go, let's make a video with the cat. And then you spend 5 months editing your video with your cat. And when you finally publish it, you say, why did I do this? It doesn't talk to me anymore. I don't care about this video. I mean, I love my cat, but 5 months?
Such a true good example.
I think dancers, we need to learn to focus, but at the same time you have this thing telling you that you will run old, and so you turn to hurry up. Yeah,
Kind of urgency to do things now.
yeah, right now, because you were born old. Anyway.
And is there anything that scares you?
That scares me? The thing that scares me now is how cruel the world is turning.
Oh, yeah.
Like how people seem to love violence, authority, cruelty, no rebellion at all. If they rebel, it's only to speak about their own butt, like their own interest. What scares me is that nobody values the other anymore. Nobody values generosity anymore. We lost the idea that if you are not fine, I can't be fine. If you are suffering, I can't be happy. What do people do? They look away and they forget about people suffering. But I think not so long ago, as a humanity, we had gained the idea of solidarity and generosity, and that we all had to be good and we all had to move forward together. And we were trying to make it happen. That was at least my impression, as a child. Maybe I was just too naive. But what scares me now is that people, they don't worry that in order for one to survive, 5 had to die. They don't worry. They see that, okay, that's the only way it should be, and it couldn't be different. And I think it could be different. And that's what scares me, not to see a lot of people involved in that.
Is there anyone who inspires you?
Yeah, many artists.
Names?
I'd say Pina, Bausch. Actually, I have a friend in Argentina that inspires me, because she's a person who started as young as me, and she makes movies, especially documentaries, and she stayed true to her point of view.
What's her name?
Her name is Tatiana Masu.
Okay. Has she published some stuff?
Yeah. She actually won the International Documentary Festival in Marseille.
Wow.
In 2020. Yeah. But I don't think you can imagine the enormous, humongous amount of work that a filmmaker has to put in Argentina in order to be able to win a prize in Europe. Huge effort, and she did it. And it took her 20 years to work.
So is she someone you grew up with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's someone I grew up with, and she's someone I saw attain a certain realization, and super happy for her. She inspires me. Like, she didn't give up, I think all of the people, Tatiana, but everybody who doesn't give up, those are the people that inspire me. I have, for example, a friend who is HIV positive, and he discovered it in 1980. He's a Parisian guy. He's from another generation, not you and I.
Yeah.
He's 60 now, and it's a person that received a death sentence because in 1981,
Of course.
if the doctor told you you have AIDS, they were telling you will die next week. And that person had the luck not to develop the virus. He lives with the virus.
Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, some people can do that.
Some people can do that.
recently.
And he didn't give up, He was lucky, but at the same time, he said, okay, my life could end anywhere from now, at any time. So he started traveling. He cultivated his friendships, love for his family. And it lasted his whole life. So with a death sentence, he could have spent his time laying in bed. So he didn't give up. Those are the people that inspire me.
And anyone who annoys you?
Well, it's exactly what I was going to say. The people that annoy me are the people that were born with everything. The people that have everything and that do nothing. Or the people that have everything, like all the privileges, all the money, the best schools, the acquaintances, all of it, the right passport. But still, it's never enough. And they complain. They think they don't have enough. They would like the others to have even less than what they have in order for them to be more successful. They don't put any effort. The people that annoy me are the people who think that everything should come from outwards,
Yeah.
from outside. Yeah. Or the people who don't share, the people who aren't able to see all that they have and that can't share, can't do anything for the others. Many people annoy me, to be honest. I find the world very annoying. Yeah.
Parisian annoy you?
What?
Parisian?
Of course. But Parisians are annoying. Who isn't annoyed by Parisians? I mean, everybody. I have the super good luck to be a non-French living in France, and I can't order a baguette without the salesman asking me where I am from and why I came to France, and some questions that may seem like simple curiosity, but when everybody is asking you the same questions, it's not curiosity.
Yeah. How long have you been living here? 8 years or something?
Yes, 8
Wow.
years. Yeah, same as you in London.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And do British people annoy you?
I haven't met any.
Oh.
British people are hiding very well in Britain, because when you go to London, you see anything except an English. It's super hard to see an English person. I think British people don't annoy me. I think they would disappoint me because they seem super friendly, but then they turn their back at you and they never. In that sense, Parisians are maybe more honest because they just don't care and they won't care from the first time,
So
they will never care.
You don't have any hope. You're already in
You're alone all the time.
And so, if you imagine, if you were an animal, which animal would you be?
I'd like to be a mythological animal. which is something super narcissistic to say, you know? It's like saying, I'm so special as a human being.
But you are so special, Catriel.
Yeah, I'm so special that if I was an animal, I wouldn't even exist because I'm so special. It's like I can't be compared to any creature on earth, only on myths and legends. I'm a legend. I'm a living legend.
Do you know what kind of mythological animal?
I think it'd be a dragon.
Okay.
Yeah. But not because of the fire. Well, you know that fire in yoga, fire is creation.
Yeah.
We see fire as destruction. Well, you know it, yeah.
Yeah.
But they see fire as creation. And I like that. I like the dragon because you can fly. And when you get pissed off, you can just go super high on a
But
mountain.
you're huge. So you need to carry this body.
But yeah, with my teeny tiny wings, I can fly. Don't forget I'm magical.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and also you have many vertebrae, and vertebrae didn't seem to be happy in my life, so maybe not as a dragon. Or I could be an octopus. I'm not an octopus. What's the name of... calamar? No.
Calamari?
Yeah,
I
celery?
think so.
No.
No, celery, it's a vegetable.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's calamari. I mean, the one you eat is calamari, definitely.
That's that one. You know that those animals are almost as intelligent.
I know the octopus has brains everywhere.
Yeah, but calamar has even a more intelligent brain.
Okay, so you're very, very clever.
I'm so intelligent, so special and so intelligent. Today I saw a meme that said I'd like to be an octopus because that way I could slap 8 people at a time.
Yeah, that's...
So if I'm a calamar, I'd be smart and able to slap. So
Okay.
maybe, yeah, that's a good... I'll
one.
settle there.
And what's your favorite color?
Red. It's always been red.
Ah.
Well, you see, I have this thing with warmth, fire, heart, the color red.
Of course, it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm all of that. I'm all about that. Of course, now it's purple also because purple is...
That's what
I'm
you're
wearing
wearing.
purple right now. It's the color of transformation.
It's nice for winter as well.
Yeah, it's true because it's not as cold as blue, but it's not as hot as red. It's right in the middle. Let's say purple.
And what makes you happy?
Ooh, sharing. What makes me happy is sharing. Making other people happy, but making them happy in a way that makes me happy. But I can't be happy alone. Sharing makes me happy. Like, you see, for example, when you cook something to put or let's make it with art. When you create an art piece, but it's an art piece that you enjoyed creating and the people enjoy seeing it, and all of that happiness, that moment of happiness that creates, that makes me happy. People reaching up to you, talking at the end of performance. It happened to me in Alabama when I was a ballet dancer, that a guy who was like the typical guy who's always bored in dance performances, especially in ballet performances, you know, and those people tend to want to see the acting, and they would mostly complain that ballet dancers only dance, but that acting is not good enough. And when that person came up to me at the end of a performance and told me, "You're as good an actor as you're a dancer," he said that. And so I felt happy. You know why? Because I said, this guy didn't get bored. I gave him a happy moment. For the first time, he came with his boyfriend to see the Nutcracker because it was Christmas time. And he was so pissed off that he had to be in the theater again. I mean, he probably got the ticket saying, "Oh, here we go again, the Nutcracker, one more time."
The Nutcracker.
Again. Ta, ta, da, 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 ta, 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 ta. Yeah. Like, ta, ta, da, da, ta, kill me now. And he left the theater with a smile and having had a good time.
Nice.
So, yeah, that makes me happy.
What is your best traveling memory?
In Thailand.
Oh.
Yeah, Thailand. But all those colors so different. The sky has a different color
The
there.
sky.
Yeah,
What color is the sky?
it's more turquoise than blue. Yeah, but also just the plane arriving to Thailand, and Thailand is it's a set of islands. There are many islands. I mean, there is a
Yeah.
continental part, but there are many islands, and you see them in the sea. Like you fly from above, and you see all the islands one next to the other, and the sea moving, flowing in between. It's so beautiful. But also, my happiest memory was at in a temple, a Buddhist temple in Thailand. I arrived and I heard this super beautiful music that I'm going to send you. It's the mantra of compassion. It's called Tape Ko, and it was a chorus of children singing it, and a place full of Buddha statues and incense and that magical music. Oh, it was beautiful. I'm such a white lady who loves spirituality. I want to have a husband that pays a travel to Tibet for me, you know.
So this is a call?
Yeah. Calling up for husbands who want to pay a travel.
Anyone listening?
Anyone listening, if you want a white lady who is not a white lady, it's actually a Latino man. A white lady
But can
trapped inside.
pretend to be a white lady.
Yes, trapped inside the body of a Latino man. But many people love it. I mean, who doesn't love Latinos?
Oh, true. So do you feel like you know yourself very well?
No. I was going to say yes, but it's fascinating how you can change and not know who the hell you are. I have no idea who I am, and I have time discovering myself. But the thing is that, for example, I never thought I'd enjoy running. But one day I said, I'll just put up some running shoes and go running. And I had the best time of my life. Or, for example, I was always a kind of calm music, yoga, relax guy, or natural instruments. But in Berlin, I went to a rave party, and it was one of the best times of my life. So, to be honest, I have no idea what I like. And it's super good to discover new things and see how much you can enjoy them. So, no, I don't think I know who I am. But to be honest, I don't think none of us knows who we are after COVID.
After COVID?
Yeah. Because it's true, of course. How can you expect to spend 2 years shut down in your home with no contact with the outside world and being the same person as you were before? It's not going to happen. Of course it's going to change you. I think we all now have to rediscover who we are.
What would you like to say to your 15 years old self?
Try to get laid. Let me explain why.
Yes, please.
No, I mean, when I was a kid, being non-straight wasn't easy, in the sense of that it wasn't easy to find people who were like me, and I didn't know how important it was for me. And now that I'm 25,
35.
yeah, well, 30, 25, I see that those moments that you live as a teenager, I said try to get laid, but it's not that. It's like try to find young love, you know? I think that queer kids don't enjoy young teenager love the same way the others do. Yeah. But I think we don't think it's possible. And I think, of course, you're just a kid, so you listen to the message of society, which is that you have to be either a queen if you're gay and be the center of attention and be a party animal, or that if you are a lesbian, I don't know, to be honest. But
yeah, you have to be very man-like and
yeah,
yeah. I mean,
and
that was the image I had.
yeah, it's the images that you have, but I think the straights have the privilege just to worry about love, you know,
Mm.
and we worry about other things. We take the places they assign for us, when in true our place is the same as everybody else. You know, at 15 you need to be discovering life, you need to be discovering beautiful experiences, discovering love. And I think to my 15-year-old I would say, it's good that you enjoy your friendship so much, but where are you in all that? You also try to start dance earlier, but also try to find a little love. You were born old. That's what I tell to my 15-year-old. I'll tell that. You were born old. Don't even try. It's too late. Don't even try. Go to med school. That's what I'd say. Go to med school.
Oh, dear.
Kidding.
And how do you learn and grow?
How did I learn?
How do you learn and grow?
How do I learn and grow?
Day after day to become a better person.
Yeah, by praying every night.
Looking at the moon.
Yeah, with my praying hands. No, unfortunately, like every human being, I learn by making mistakes. Many mistakes. Trial and error.
What was your last mistake, if you want to share?
So maybe my last mistake was being unorganized and not taking the time to grab a white sheet of paper and saying, what do I need? What do I truly need? Come on, let's try to get these things. For example, it's hideous, but how much do I have to make a month? Truly, seriously, come on. How much you need? Because sometimes you can live out of the hippie philosophy that every money is enough money. But that is not true. That is true when you have money. And then not gaining debt, for example, you know. But sometimes you find yourself in bad positions only because you didn't take the time to put your things in order, to get your stuff together and say, okay, I'll do this first, I'll do this now, I'll do this second. Maybe I should be a little bit more organized. But I'm a dragon, so I only fly and spit fire, and I think that's enough. I'm magic anyway.
Yeah. And so any coming projects for the future?
Yes, so there is a beautiful project with a choreographer who is in Argentina, and we have this idea of creating a piece, but she will be in Argentina and I will be here. I will be dancer choreographer and she will be only choreographer, but the whole collab will happen via Zoom or other, it will all
Nice.
it will all be on video call. So, and I want to make it about the ocean. I want to make it about waves. I want to make it about transmission, because the whole piece will be a huge teletransmission. It's freaking out if you think of the world that we live in. I mean, all the teletransmissions that are happening right now. People now are talking from Europe to Asia. Maybe our neighbor upstairs is having a video call with South Africa, and maybe they're having tea with a friend in South Africa through video call right now. And I think all those huge transmissions, for me, they are super shocking. But it's easy to see why. It's because I am a body who was more or less transmitted from so far up to here, So it's fun to see how maybe with a video call I can come back easily over there, even though you can't. But that would be the next project.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you.
And any last recommendation? Any book that you've read recently, or podcast, or film?
Yes, I have a book I would like to recommend. It's about identity in France. It's called Rester barbare. It means stay barbaric.
I
Bar-
don't. Yeah. You do.
Barbare is barbaric.
I will do a beep and put the word, and then do a beep at the montage.
Okay, great.
Eileen from the montage, I think the English translation is barbarian. I'm not completely sure, so just send me a message if I'm wrong, which I might be. I'm a human being. Don't hurt me.
But it's called Stay Barbaric, and it's a book about education and about not believing in the hegemonic system of education and beauty and all of those ideas that are actually the taste of a social class, of a certain social class, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the book is called Reste barbare, just stay barbaric, stay true to what you are, but with a super perspective about migration, about French-Arabic relationships inside France. It's a great book.
Nice.
I recommend that to all the immigrants in wherever they are, all the traveling artists, wherever they are.
And do you want to redirect the listener to your Instagram, or so if they want to contact you for a project, if they like you, or if they want you as a wife?
Of course, yeah.
That last one worked well.
If anybody wants Latino, no kidding. Yeah, my Instagram is I'm again making noise with
That's
my
fine,
watch.
it's the end, so we don't care anymore.
Okay, we don't care. So my Instagram is Catriel _IG.
And I will put it in the notes of the podcast.
Okay.
So people can just copy.
Yeah, I feel happy to reach and tell me where you are.
Send
who
a lot
you
of
are.
money.
Send money. No kidding. Don't send money. Send love.
Send
and
love
you'll have
and
some in return.
Warmth.
Some warmth.
Oh, thank you so much, Catriel, for
Thank
taking that
you.
time.
This has been a huge pleasure.
Oh.
Thank you for having me.